Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis with Elliott Wave theory for DXY, or the US dollar currency index. Now today we're going to be going through the newer main counts that I had. I'm not quite sure did I present this on video yet, but again on Discord I surely did. So let's just jump right into it. The idea here is that previously we had the wave 4 of this degree of this primary being further up higher. However, the magnitude and the size of this is basically forcing me now to bringing it up a degree. So this structure here coming down is now that wave 4 of primary. We still have it as a comparable structure to this wave 2. However, again, it is starting to get really large. Now we are right around the lows that we have for that previous wave 2 as well on RSI. We still see that there is a possibility where this could rise up for that 5th of primary that is hiding here. But again, if we take out these lows that we had here on December 2020 on RSI, this whole thing is probably done, and then we would have to accept that we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, something like that, up into these lows, and then we would be starting something new to the downside. However, that is not yet confirmed. I do have that idea of if we break down these lows here on daily around this 17, actually let's take a look at the lowest here that we find. 17.51 is the lowest, I think. Then we can turn more towards that idea. At the moment, however, we are on smaller time frame creating some bullish divergences here, so we could be at least creating some kind of bounce up before a big continuation to the downside, but we're not sure about that yet. Now again, we've gone through all of these structures before. There's many ways to interpret this, but again, based on the higher time frame corrections, I feel like this is the one that we need to be again focusing on now. The subway structures here does not really matter overall. I do think that we have created the 3rd of primary up in here. We did have divergences all the way from here. Not really great divergence on the local structure here, but there's not many different ways to look at this. We could have had this as some kind of expanding diagonal into the highs, but again, that is less likely to be the case. But in that scenario as well, the highs would be up in here. Just for reference, something like that. But let's focus more on this structure over here again, since the highs on September, and starting with probably the 4 hours should be fine to start with. Now on this one, we have two different ideas. One of them is saying that we exactly are ending this whole thing. We are at the 1-to-1 extension in time, comparing this first leg over here of WW, then pivoted from X wave onwards. So again, that is 1-to-1 in time right now, basically December 2nd. And then we would be placing the wave 4 there. However, I don't really see that as very likely at this moment yet, although we do have these targets very well, and this is like a basically just a bit further than the 1-to-1 extension for this last leg as well. That looks pretty decent. Subway structures comparing this wave length to this wave Y is not very good, and also that we do have still that divergence against the W here for that against the wave Y here. So that is something that I definitely want to be seen erased before this whole thing is most likely done. So that's why I don't really like this count at the moment. It does offer a good insight that wave X would be here, where we see this RSI cycle coming down. Here is broken, and we are getting some kind of pullback up higher. And at this case, I think it is indeed the wave X of a higher degree. We are still within this lower trend or trend coming down, because again, we have not taken out these highs that we started the whole cycle with, and this would be that some kind of 3-way correction up higher. Again, taking out these highs, it is confirming that again it is something new, and something new from here downwards. We have not taken out these highs yet either out, so that confirms me that we are still within this same RSI cycle downwards. Again, we'll look into that other option next. At the moment, 3-way structure coming down looks decent on RSI as well. This structure here actually retraced quite a bit of the RSI here. We had only like let's see how much it actually retraced, less than the 38.2, which is not very good to see for an X wave. We generally want to see that 38.2 hit at least to give any kind of good look for the count, right? But yeah, it does not really look too proportioned this way. There is of course a way to interpret this where we would have some kind of wave 1 here, and this would be wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like that is very decent looking structure. Again, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the lows of potential third wave already, and then this would be possible wave 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get that last leg in. And while that is still possible, this first structure does not really fit too well on it. Also, the proportions of this potential wave 3 here, let me close that for now. Comparing this wave 4 to that massive wave 2 here is not really giving out too much. So it is definitely possible that we're going to be doing something like this. We have, however, already an extended or expanded structure here on wave 2, taking out the wave 1 lows. So maybe there is a chance that wave 2 is up in here, and we have this as a 1-2, 1-2 scenario. The structures inside here does not really seem to be fitting too well for the 5th wave or 5-way structures, but we had the exact same issue that we have here. These look more like a 3-way structures on all of these, basically. All of these most recent ups look more like a 3-way structures. So maybe that is something that we need to be thinking about as well. But let's continue this with the other analysis here that I had. So exact same structure up into these highs, and instead from there we would have this as a 5-way structure. This would get us to that wave A low, and then we would be looking for wave B. At the moment, this could be done here, where we would have 3 ways into A, 3 ways into B, and then looking for 5-way structure into that wave C. At the moment, we have retraced around the 1.236 of this wave A here, or the wave B. If we go below the $103.65 area, then this whole thing is invalidated, because again, that is giving us not the right look anymore. 1.618 retracement of this wave gives us some kind of at least soft invalidation for that count, and then definitely going to be focusing more on the other counts for sure. So at the moment, we could be looking for that wave C here, for that wave B to be completed. The higher it gets, the better it looks, because again, at this point, the idea is that we are getting a wave 4. The lower the wave 4 goes, the less likely it is. 0.5 of this wave 3 rise is already at the $102.1 area. So the higher the B goes, the more likely it is to stay within this 0.5 retracement and above it. So that is that, and the reasons why. What else did we have? Not much. I think that is pretty much the idea here, the main idea that we would be looking for with, and some kind of bounce here. This would fit also the impulse wave structure if we had this as the wave 4. So both of these might be looking for that. At the moment, on very small time frame, we did have a massive bounce on that one of the news events. I can't remember which one it was on Friday, but again, since then we had a potential 5-way move downwards again, which is again giving us more signals that this thing is going to be continuing to the downside. This again, these rises were so quick that we can't really see any structure. We had this as a potential 1-2, and then nothing. A straight line, you can't really analyze that too much, so that is unfortunate. After the spike up again, 5 ways, we could be looking for pullback up and then continuation downside, just based on the wave look here on very small time frame. But that is basically that. I still hope we are going to get some kind of pump up here for that wave 4 before 5th wave coming down, at least on this count, and it would again fit on the other one as well, this one here. But that is, I think, that the only structures that I'm looking for. If this continues to dump down further and more significantly that we would be expecting here for that fifth wave, of course wave 4 could be in, and then we would be getting some kind of diagonal here, and then get that pump. But again, the proportions are not the best here, so I'm not expecting it fully. But I think that is going to do it for DXY. Again, not really good analysis, unfortunately. There's not really much to grasp here, in my opinion at least. Maybe somebody else does. And if you've seen the counts, please do share them. It definitely helps and gives me something else to think about as well. But I think that is going to do it. If you made it this far into the video again, I would appreciate the likes, links to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope to see you on the next video as well. Check out the RSI here. If we break this, up we go. I'm hopeful. But see you in the next one. Bye bye.